slid Antoine out and let him play some end now. And is that kind of a sign of the depth at defensive tackle, or is it you're seeing something from him and a need at the defensive end position, or kind of what do you see there?
Yeah, so he has experience doing it. He has real-life game experience doing that. We went through spring ball with Antoine being inside at defensive tackle. To your point, we feel like we've created some depth there through consistent play by a bunch of above-the-line guys. So we've had an opportunity to get a bigger body, a physical, heavy-handed, heavier-weighted defensive end out there on the edge. Which helps us strategically, schematically, and then Antoine's just shown multi-position flexibility and done a good job inside and out. So at different times he will be able to play both, but again with not so much depth concerns, but just quality of depth inside at defensive tackle. That's allowed Antoine to be back outside at field end and be a rotational guy at both.
You've tried some different combinations at linebacker.
Yeah.
Are you trying to work maybe the experienced guys in with some of the younger guys? Is that what?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I always say ad nauseum, the above-the-line depth chart. So those guys are going to mix and play and mingle together. It won't be just a pair of two playing together the entire time or series by series. They will have an opportunity to play alongside each other, and then that's been by design all the way back to spring ball, where almost every day or every scrimmage there was a combination of who was playing together. We had an opportunity to reference this last week when we did a meeting with you guys, but we'll talk about playing the players, and then by series, we'll have a meeting 2 days before we get into Clemson, before we head that way. On our final Thursday practice is what we normally call it, which will be Tuesday this week. We'll talk about playing the players. At what series, say, for example, to your point, Demetrius Knight is a true freshman who will be playing meaningful downs early on. At what point, at what series will he go in, and who will he be matched with, and then how will we have an opportunity to balance that and be conscious of it. Even though we'll play a bunch of guys above the line, let's not put 4 true freshmen in the same series for their first experience ever on College game day in Death Valley. So we have to be strategic about how we place them in sequence.
Do some of those combinations depend on what the offense is trying to do?
Sure, and a lot of it just depends on length of drive, and then at some point it's going to be uncomfortable, but you got to put them in. They got to play. It's uncomfortable in the sense that they don't have real game experience. We put them through a million reps, and they've been in stressful environments, and we had the base turned up to 18 today to where they had to have max communication and try as best as possible to give them a game day atmosphere. But at some point we've got to let them go play. And then at times there will be small mistakes that they make, but they've got to make those mistakes and learn from them. But we feel really confident about playing a bunch of young guys, and again, just the multiplicity of depth charts and how many guys that will play 22 plus.
I guess to the extent of figuring out who goes with who and everything. With Jahaziel, he's someone we've talked to over and over again about
Sure.
the possibility of playing on both sides, and obviously he's listed on both
Yeah.
on this chart and everything. So what does that process look like for him specifically?
Yeah. So first of all, it goes into the practice plan. So he's literally, period by period, he's going back and forth between offense and defense, which, just let me pause, just unbelievable testament to the kid to be able to do that, to be a ACC, big-time offensive lineman and play defensive tackle and learn those things and then play at a really high rate. So, just kudos, compliments to Jahaziel and everything he's done to prepare himself and get in that position. But that'll be a communication. First of all, it will be the offense will take priority in terms of need. So whenever they need him, whatever their combinations are, whoever is healthy or unhealthy going into the game, they will always take precedence. But selfishly on defense, we are trying to steal as many reps as possible because we feel like he's an elite defensive tackle. So it will be we'll be in constant communication. Coach Collins is truly a game day head coach where he can give that information to Dave and to myself and then to each offensive line and defensive line coaches to be able to communicate that. But it's not just for the media purpose, or it's not just a narrative. He will literally play downs, meaningful downs on both sides of the football. We love to have him on defense.
Coach Thacker, do you have definite expectations for what Clemson might try to do their first couple possessions in the game?
They're explosive in so many ways. You turn on the tape, and they can run in, score in explosive ways, run in, pass in explosive ways. So we're prepared for it all. Obviously, it's they've got elite talent. They're deservedly the #1 team in the country, the defending national champions. It is not a game plan where you can just take away one component. Hey, they've got a running back. They're really good at running the football. Let's try to load the box and take that away. Hey, they've got an outside receiver. Let's just double that guy. They're so multi-layered in what they can do in terms of creating explosives. The big message for us in our defensive meeting room is know them, and we literally put a slide up today, know them, but more importantly, know us, and then no freaking fear. I don't think our kids are going to fear anything. I really don't. But know them. We're going to know all their tendencies. We're going to know their plays. We're going to practice and have a billion cumulative reps versus plays that they've shown and what we're going to match up against, and have certain formations where we'll have certain calls and execute those at a high level. But at the end of the day, be us, relative to what they've been able to prepare for in the past. Our offense is similar structurally, personnel-wise, to what Clemson does. So our defensive guys have so many cumulative reps over the course of spring ball from fall camp of formations that are exactly similar and plays that are really similar. So we've got to execute. I have to mix calls up. I can't call a game scared. You can't cover everything on every single play. You can't double team everybody on every single play. So we've got to be us. We've got to go out and attack success and not fear failure. I have to have a good balance of coverage multiplicity, pressure multiplicity, and not just be responsive in everything that they do, or we won't give ourselves a chance.
How important will the success of the press coverage be going against a team where the quarterback like Lawrence gets the ball out as quick as he does?
Sure. So there's been a lot of conversation. That is our base way of playing is press, but they are elite on the perimeter. We feel very confident in our personnel and who we have. We're going to be our identity, but we're not going to be fools. We're not going to be fools and not have an opportunity to double the outside receivers, have coverage flexibility, have pre-snap disguises, and do things to give them relief, quite frankly. So as anything that's, not just coach speak, but that's multiplicity in coverage. We're not going to line up in a post safety and press corners and say good luck to us. We're going to do everything we can to mix the coverage, to give those guys not the answers to the test, and not give Trevor Lawrence the pre-snap clues to the test, and then again to give those guys relief. And then at moments they're going to have to go. They're going to have to go win. And we normally call them 50-50 balls. We always want those balls to be in our advantage on those one-on-one pre-snap. Just catch the ball and throw them.
Sylvan isn't someone we've talked a lot about, but obviously given where he was coming from,
Sure.
Literally and I guess figuratively, to be on the chart, I think says a little bit about him. Can you describe just the process you've seen him in getting from where he was when he first got until now?
And it's just another, he's technically a freshman, even though he's older than a typical high school freshman. Having the international deal, he's a little bit older by age. But it's the unbelievable advantage of young men getting here in January. So he was able to get here in January, acclimatized to the culture, acclimatized to college football, what it's like to go to class, what it's like to practice. So he has, however many more reps than a freshman coming into the summer, all of the cumulative reps he had going into the spring. So really pleased with him. And I'll be quite frank with you, we've learned how to coach him better. There are times where there is the language barrier. He speaks great English, but there's just football terms and parlance and verbiage that made no sense to him, and we would be yelling at him on the field with great loud communication and gestures and choice words. And he would smile and say, "Yes, sir." And then he would come off the field and he would say, "Coach, I have no idea what that means." So we've had the opportunity to, just find ways to coach him better and communicate better, slow things down for him in the teaching process in the room. But really pleased with him. He is a physical specimen. He is what an ACC Power 5 defensive end should look like. He has the type of strength that they look like. It's just him fast forwarding and speeding up the learning curve for football.
Anything else for Coach Thacker?
Trevor Lawrence obviously reputation protects himself. What do you see when you watch him on game film?
Not even understating it, you're seeing a generational quarterback. He is the elite quarterback in college football. In my opinion, he was the first-round draft pick, the first overall pick of this last draft in terms of talent. Really mature kid, great poise, can make all the throws. And then most people will fall in love with throws that people make as far as deep throws and the field comeback and the shots over the top of defenses. But he's unbelievable at making all of the variety of throws. the quick screens out on the perimeter, how quickly he can get the ball out, the decisions that he makes, and the pressure he puts on the defense. Not to mention, he's not known as a runner. That's not his dominant trait, but very good at just pocket presence and then escaping even when you're able to cover everybody down, make him put his eyes down and go run. He still has good escapability. So, yeah, I can't compliment him enough. All the accolades that he's received, he deserves. We're excited for the challenge.